I had interviewed Katt Williams and Kevin Hart at different times, and I asked them.
Was that that was the year of the height? Like he was only interviewing people 5 feet or lower. Like this short nigga week right here. We need Katt Williams and we need Kevin Hart. What's the criteria? The motherfuckers 5'2". That's it.
So they both said. I asked them who they thought was the greatest living stand-up comedian, and they both said Dave Chappelle.
I would have to agree with that. You know, I would have to agree. I didn't come up the generation of Richard Pryor, but I just got off tour with Dave. And I always liked him personally. He was one of my favorite comics, but just to see how people reacted to him when he hit the stage, just to see how he could talk about himself. He could talk about some of the things that happened in his life that would be hard to talk about. His disappearance from the Chappelle show, the fact that he got booed by 30,000 people and make it fun, and people still love him. He's a comedic genius. Not too many people have a style that's just, is particular to them. And I think that Dave Chappelle, especially for my generation, I would say is one of the greatest to ever do it.
So what, based on what you know, what was the reason that the Chappelle show ended?
One of the reasons was I came to work one day, and for everybody like me to be ashy, one day I came to work fully moisturized, and he got offended by that shit. And he was like, you know what, nigga, you ain't ashy no more. I'm going back to Africa where it's some real ashy motherfuckers. That's the story a lot of people don't know. But Dave Chappelle's disappearance because one day, and I'll say it, Dave, I'm sorry that I came to work with lotion on one day and made you go to Africa. I'm sorry. I'm back, son. Come back. Nobody really, it's weird for me because when I'm traveling, people are always like, they act like they're concerned about me. How you doing down there? How you family doing? All right? Oh, man, that's good, man. I love you. How's Dave? Where is Dave?
So you never asked him?
I saw him, after it happened, I saw him maybe 3 years after that. And when I first saw him, I wanted to, my first question was, what the fuck happened? That's what I wanted to ask. But for a person to be in a situation where a story was that high profile, I'm like, why am I going to ask him the same question that he's been asked over and over again? And for me, it was more important that, like mental and everything, that he was doing well. When I saw him, he looked well, he spoke well, and I was like, fuck it, I'm no homo. I miss you. You know what I'm saying? And gave him a hug, gave him a pound, pause. You got to do all this shit nowadays. You can't just have a conversation, no homo, I miss you. I gave him a pound, pause, and all that type of shit.
We got hot dogs afterwards.
Yeah, you got you know what I'm saying? I saw him in the meat department, pause, no homo. I don't know what the fuck to say, but I love to do it. It was good to see him and good to see that right now he's currently touring again. And me working with him for I've been working with him, I did 7 days with him. And it's not official, but I just got this weird feeling that something really big is about to happen with him and his fan base.
Really?
Yeah. I could just feel it. You go from, I think it's a gradual state for him. He went from, even when he left, he still was doing small clubs. To go from doing small clubs to doing one of the biggest comedy tours in years, the Oddball Comedy Festival, with you engaged with 20,000, 30,000 people, and then to go on and do your own tour away from that where you're doing 2,000 or 3,000 people. I just feel like something is going to push him to want to give the fans what they want. And I pulled him, when we were on the road, I pulled him aside. I was like, Dave, you got to do something, man. I was like, people love you. It's so many unanswered shit. Even if it's just a special, just to establish some type of closure, I was like, people would love it. You know what I mean? It's hard to come back after 10 years and want to just take your throne back on a daily, every day, like a weekly show. But it would be nice, and I think the fans would love it if you come back and just do one special.
I mean, I feel that the Boondocks kind of took some of the energy from the Chappelle show and kind of did their own thing with it.
I think if you want to say some socially conscious, that side of it, but no disrespect, Carl Jones, Aaron, all those guys, big fans of him. They doing a good job. But Chappelle's show was just one of those. The Boondocks is funny, but you don't have every race, every age talking about what happened in the Boondocks yesterday. You know what I'm saying? You don't have rednecks talking about, did you see that episode of Boondocks? But me traveling and my fan base that I created from Chappelle's show, I'm talking about everybody. And there's a phrase saying, 8 to 80, blind, crippled, or crazy. Those are people that love Chappelle's show, and I don't know if those are the same people that like the Boondocks. So that's where, and it's never going to be another Chappelle show. Everybody gets their own identity. It is never going to be another Richard Pryor show. Then another show came on to establish their own identity. In Living Color, people's like, it's never going to be another Living Color, but there's another show that established its own identity. And I think you got, I say like every 10 years, you have one of those shows that just like on pop culture just transcends everywhere. My favorite skit on Chappelle's show was the Wayne Brady sketch. And the reason why that was my favorite skit, because the way it happened because it came off of a skit where Paul Mooney dissed Wayne Brady, right? And Wayne Brady was a big fan of Chappelle, and they ran into each other at a party, right? And Wayne had said something to Dave about that skit. He was a little offended by it, and it fucked with Dave. You know, it fucked with him to a point where he thought about it, and he was like, how do you apologize as a creative person without really apologizing? You know what I'm saying? You create a showcase vehicle. You know what I'm saying? And that it went from Wayne being upset with Dave to them embracing each other and coming on set to do it. But the reason why it was one of my favorite skits, because it wasn't all funny. It had the dark side to it. It had the twist. And then it put Wayne Brady, showed everybody how talented of a person he is. Because everybody, when you think of Wayne Brady, it's unfortunate you think about like nerd dude or whatever, but he's a great guy and a talented performer, and it just took him somewhere that you would have never expected. And it gave Wayne Brady straight street creds. Niggas wanted to bust shots for Wayne Brady after that. You know what I'm saying? And it was one of the things, and Wayne was, as much as people want to talk shit about Wayne Brady, and some people have their own opinion of it, you look at motherfuckers just getting it on TV. When you look at the money of it, look at him, 2 television shows, executive produced for like 2 other shows, and still selling shows. You could say whatever you want to say about him. That's a real nigga doing real things.